Move on to our final story for the day. Finally, 11 PDP governors called on the Supreme Court to annul the state of emergency declared in the South River State by President Bola Tinubu. The governors argued that the suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara and other elected officials was unconstitutional and posed a threat to Nigeria's democracy. The governors in the suit were governors of Adamawa, Enugu, Osun, Oyo, Bauchi, Akwa Ibom, Plateau, Delta, Taraba, Zamfara, and Bayelsa states. Of course, I still have with me Obiaruko, with all the discussions. It's been a fine evening.
Thank you.
Now, the PDP governors urging the Supreme Court to halt Rivers emergency rule. Is this the right call, even if there has to be an end to the rule anyway?
Well, I think that they are doing what they ought to do. Okay. I mean, for one of their own. But of course, the issues have to do with the Constitution and the law. It's not about sentiments or emotions. It's not about solidarity with one of our own. I think they had enough time, to have mediated.
I wanted to go there, because when you said one of their own, I was wondering what were they doing all the while before everything degenerated to this point.
They had enough time to have mediated. Unfortunately, some of them took sides and hoped that, they would probably win the case at the Supreme Court. But when the Supreme Court spoke, I mean, everybody is expected to, abide by the judgment of the courts, So, well, I think for them, going to court now, they are trying the law. That section of the law 305 has not really been tested by the court. So I think this is going to be one. Some persons have also referred to the case of Plateau and all that. But that one was not also decided on its merits. It was just a technical issue, the issue of jurisdiction, because Chris Ali, the administrator, then had said he didn't give anybody any approval to go and file for him. So now the PDP governors are filing this case and through the Attorney General. Unfortunately, the state that is affected, the governor, Siminalayi Fubara, is not part of it.
True.
River State is not part of it. There's no Attorney General who's going to stand for him. And I do not see where the Vice Admiral Ibas, that's the sole administrator, is going to give his consent, So it's going to probably end up like the way the Plateau case ended up. There's a precedent, except they find a way out to just discuss the matter. Maybe the governors just want to also secure theirs to be sure that nothing happened. Don't forget that just recently, Chibika Michi mentioned something, alleging that the state of emergency declared in Rivers is a threat, is a plot, to hijack some states, maybe. So some of the governors probably feel that let's go to court, and at least if we get judgment, even if we don't get anything for sin, we can get our own and secure our own. So, but I don't want to also be, because looking at the names of the states involved, most of the governors are very close to the party.
Just hold your thought. We'll be right back. We'll go on a quick break. We'll return for Newsweek. Welcome back. It's to Newsweek, and we're not done yet. We have a few minutes to round off. Quickly, you talked about the fact that Siminalayi Fubara didn't join that particular contingent to actually plead for his cause. Now, since the emergency rule started, there's been no news of any possible meetings being, initiated by the governor to mend fences with the lawmakers. So, do you see this emergency rule extending beyond 6 months?
I said it before. If they are interested in returning to power, to office, they must make efforts. But unfortunately, there are people that will, just like what they did the first time the president intervened, the governor was prepared. He said, I'm going to abide by the peace resolution. But 2 weeks after, some person said it's not constitutional, you don't need to do that and all that. So a lot of grandstanding, a lot of advice, a lot of people. But I think that those who actually love the man should tell him the truth, that you need to go back home. Even the prodigal son went back home at some point, and he was elevated even far above, his brother who was there. So I think that there's need for them to begin to, come together. But the question is, who is going to spearhead that? So
what you're implying now is Fubara is not actually the one doing this whole, playing this whole grandstanding situation. There are people behind him urging him on.
It's not about people. It's also your mindset. When people read your body language, they tell you what you want to hear.
Good.
We saw him, we had him on tapes, on video, where he was also talking about these things
talking
and saying,
tough.
yeah, talking tough, saying that he didn't stick to there's nothing in that peace deal. There's nothing there. I don't recognize the lawmakers. They are gone and gone for good. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Yeah. So I think that those people around probably all read his body language and felt that since that is what he's saying, let's amplify it. You know, but again, there are times you have to come to your own sense. There are times you have to come to your own reasoning and allow wisdom to prevail over pride, over ego, and then say to yourself, I need to go back home. You know, my problem now is not just about Fubara, you know, accepting to go back home, but they also need to have somebody on the side of the minister, Nyesom Wike, because he feels badly hurt. You know, so they need to, and again, time heals wounds. I think that before the 6 months of this expires, I think everybody, because it does not all go well for either party. The guys who were elected as lawmakers have not really sat down to do their job and get, you know, rewarded for their constituents. I mean, their constituencies are also being deprived. So no matter the local government administration you have today, it can't be the same with the politicians there. So I think that on that side too, they also need to begin to talk to you. And I believe that with time, you know, but if they don't, then maybe they've all made up their mind not to return and wait for the next election. All right, before I let you go quickly, recently there was a fake report circulating on social media that Dr. Samuel Nwanosike, a political ally of Nyesom Wike, was appointed as the sole administrator of Rivers State Waste Management Agency. Now that report has been debunked to be not true. Now, do you think these pockets of chaos would further dent Fubara's tenure as governor? Because it's obvious that some persons or a group of people are not relenting on just posting fake news to make it look as though whatever is happening in Rivers State is intentional. Yeah, I think that the governor has a duty here, you know, to call to order the people who are his supporters and tell them, look, no matter how, you know, how painful it is for us, we need to calm down so that we can follow, you know, the path of peace, which is the right thing to do. Now, unnecessary propaganda, unnecessary falsehood, you know, will help nobody. And then, like, when I heard that announcement, or when I saw it rather, I didn't even bother to post it on my Facebook page because I didn't see it possible, you know, for Nwanosike to be appointed, because I know he's a known ally of Nyesom Wike. The other people that were appointed... straight up, you know it was fake news. Yeah, I mean, because it's not possible. The other people that have been appointed, the local government administrators and all that, none of them is a known, you know, supporter of Wike. It's not like they are not members of the political parties. I mean, you don't think that there are ghosts in every political... They are human beings, so, but they are not known supporters. So I knew that story was not... So the governor has a duty here. That was part of the challenge he faced when those boys started, you know, destroying those pipelines, and even after the threats and all that, there was no time he called them to order and dissociated, you know. I think his media handlers also, at a time like this, when the governor is a bit, you know, let me not use the word depressed, you know, but they should, you know, have a role to play. There are things you could do without even his approval. To help, and when it works, he will appreciate you. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your time this evening. It's been a wonderful time having you here. And of course, for those of you just joining us, this is Obiaru Kondukwe, communications consultant and President Citizens Quest for Truth Initiative. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. And that's our show for today. Remember, you can follow the conversation on our social media platforms at TVC News NG, or on our website at tvcnews.tv. I am Mark Otabo. Until next week, goodbye.